Alright, picture this. You wake up, shuffle out to your driveway, coffee in hand, mind still foggy. And bam, there it is, a screaming orange sticker slapped right across your windshield, looking like it was manufactured for nuclear fallout. Not for your quiet little townhouse driveway. Parking violation, it says. $50 a day. And I'm standing there, jaw on the ground, in my own driveway. You ever have a moment when you feel like you just stepped into a sitcom, but you're not laughing? Yeah, that happened. Let me back up a sec. I work in commercial real estate, contracts, leases, buying up properties, that sort of thing. I keep my cards close, never brag about what I own or who rents from me. My wife and I, we're quiet folks. We landed in this picture-perfect HOA community, lawns like they're cut with tweezers, mailbox colors mandated by a committee of retired art teachers, and an HOA president who acts like he's got a direct line to the governor. The kind of place where, if you breathe wrong, someone's got a clipboard ready to fine you for it. We kept to ourselves. I'd wave, say hey at block parties, pay my dues. Nobody knew that Northwood Holdings, that's my little LLC, actually owned a chunk of the rental properties around here. Managed by a company, all pretty anonymous. It's a solid investment. Why advertise it? You know what I mean? But 6 months ago, everything changed with that sticker. My driveway, that I'd parked in for 3 years without a hitch, suddenly counted as common area, needing a premium permit. The fine, $50 a day, as if I was stealing gold every time I backed out. I called the HOA, got the president himself. Guy's voice is dripping with authority, doesn't even check my name. If you can't afford the lifestyle here, maybe you should consider moving. Real nice, huh? He tells me to come plead my case at the next board meeting, while the fines just keep stacking up. I do what I always do when something stinks. I dig deeper. The board meetings are pure theater. President in a suit, treasurer talking about community standards, people acting like they're running the UN instead of a townhouse block. I explain my deed, my property, and I get the kind of chuckles you give to a toddler asking if dogs can talk. Turns out, the parking consultant is the president's nephew, just a kid cruising around in a golf cart, doling out tickets. Word is, he gets a cut of every fine. The family business, you know? Suddenly, my car is getting cited for visible scratches or for just existing outside my garage. Then one day, I get home, and my car is gone, towed from my own damn driveway. $200 to get it back. Towing company says the HOA called it in, work order signed by. Guess who? The president. And then comes the letter. Condescending, snarky, basically telling me to study up on basic contract law. They're threatening to put a lien on my property if I don't cough up over $2,000 in fines. I'm not gonna lie, that made my blood boil. So I do what I do best. I research. Pull up records, connect the dots between rental units and board members. And here's the kicker. The president himself is renting his unit from Northwood Holdings. That's me. 2 other board members, same story. 40% of rental units in the complex, all owned by my LLC. These folks have been nickel-and-diming the landlord without even realizing it. Time for a little theater of my own. I get my lawyer involved, send a letter to the board, icy cold, very official. Announce an audit. Warn about lease non-renewals and, if necessary, tripling rents to cover increased legal costs. Suddenly, the tough guy act vanishes. I get voicemails, at first, still smug, but by the third one, the president sounds like a man who's just seen a ghost. I lay down my terms. Reverse all fines, pay me interest, fire the nephew, print an apology, and freeze HOA dues for 5 years. He wants to meet neighbor to neighbor. I say, let's do it in the boardroom, with a court reporter. I show up, looking like the lawyer I am, with my own attorney and a recorder. President looks like he hasn't slept in a week. They cave, sign everything. Next newsletter, there's a public apology. Nephew's out of a job. And for the first time in years, the complex feels like a community, not a police state. New board comes in, starts focusing on actual issues, not bogus fines. I take the refunded money and throw a block party. Burgers, hot dogs, cold drinks. Neighbors I never talked to come by, laugh, relax. The old board, well, they avoid me like I'm radioactive. My wife jokes about hanging a sign in the driveway. Management reserves the right to refuse service. The place is actually pleasant now. I still don't brag about what I own, but let's just say, Folks are a little more careful before they try to start something with the quiet guy in the corner. Property values go up. People wave when I walk the dog. Nobody's worrying if their trash can is out 5 minutes too long. You know, it's funny. Turns out the president really did have to consider moving to an apartment complex after all. I didn't renew his lease. His nephew, well, he'll always have the valuable life skill of peeling stickers off windshields. Here's what I learned. Anytime you see new fees popping up out of thin air, don't just pay and grumble. Ask who's really benefiting. Know your rights. Never underestimate the leverage you have, especially when someone's living in a house you own. Sometimes, justice isn't loud. It's a quiet contract and a signed check. But let me ask you, what would you have done? Is there ever a time when the rules justify what the board tried to pull? Let me know down in the comments. And share your own wild HOA stories. Where's the line between protecting community standards and just being a bully? Now, let me tell you about a day at an amusement park, because you need a little whiplash, right? I used to run a ride called Moby Dick. Full control at the operator booth. One day, this woman, let's call her Karen, rolls up, already mocking one of the kids on the ride. Loud, nasty, thinks she's queen of the boardwalk. I ask her to knock it off. She just gets snippier. When her group's turn comes, I tell everyone, don't pull on the bars. Karen ignores me, tries to bully some little boys out of their seats. I warn her again, one more word, and she's off, no refund. She finally sits down, pulls the bar down hard, then complains I'm trying to kill her by making it too tight. You can't win. The ride starts, she starts screaming, wants off, calls me every name in the book. So, I do what I have to, stop the ride, but leave it up at the top. She's wailing. Everyone else is having a blast. I let her stew for a minute, then spin the ride full speed before letting them off. She stands up too soon, bar smacks her on the head. Her friend just laughs and drags her away. Sometimes karma is a spinning carnival ride, you know? But hey, family drama is where the real ride begins. Here's one that gets messier than a county fair after rain. I'm the older brother. My mom always favored my younger sister, made her the golden child. Parents split when I was a teen. Mom cheated. I went with my dad. She and my sister became two peas in a narcissistic pod. Dad was a business guy, taught me everything. I worked my way up, became a partner, felt pretty good about life. Then, bam, COVID takes him out. We hold a video funeral. My sister's crying, but my mom? Looks like she's just waiting for a lunch order. Dad's will reads. He leaves most of his assets to me. The house, the business, the money. My sister gets a car and some cash. My mom gets $1,000 and a couple things she'd fought over since the divorce. Mom's fine. She's got a house, a steady job, airs out rooms, no financial troubles. But that doesn't stop her. A few months later, she and my sister show up at my door, uninvited, start snooping around. My sister is giggling, calling out, "Mommy, it's perfect." Like she's found her dream home on a reality show. My mom plops down, snaps her fingers, demands bottled water. I ask, "Why are you here?" And she launches into it. "You need to do your brotherly duty. Give your sister this house. Or at least move out and let her take over. Cover the bills while you're at it." I tell her, in no uncertain terms, that's not happening. She ramps up. "I am your mother. I am God in this house. I say jump. You say how high." And tells me to consider myself evicted. I start dialing the cops. She smacks the phone out of my hand, tries to stomp it. I grab it back. She slaps me. I slap her back, harder. She's shocked. My sister's wailing. My girlfriend's filming the whole thing on her phone. They threaten to lie to the police, say I hit a pregnant woman, say I stole the house. All that. But my girlfriend's got it all on video. My mother's threats lose their edge. Eventually, after some serious porch drama, my sister having a full-blown tantrum on the steps, my mother calling me heartless, they leave. But of course, it's not over. They post all over social media, call me a greedy bastard, claim I paid off the lawyer to steal the house. Family starts messaging me, some furious, some just confused. I print out the lies, send everything to my lawyer. We send a legal threat, either retract and apologize, or I'll make their lives very uncomfortable. They cave. The posts disappear, I get unblocked. My mom writes some half-assed apology online. My sister blames her mom, blames pregnancy hormones, blames everything but herself. The family sides get drawn. My dad's relatives never believed the story, but my mom's side was quick to pick up the torches. My sister and her boyfriend end up living in my mom's basement. Can't even get a room upstairs because she keeps the good rooms for Airbnb. My sister keeps complaining online, my mom goes silent. And honestly, that's peace for me. You know, stories like this get people fired up, so I'll leave you with this. What does justice look like in family? When is standing your ground the right thing? And when does it just add fuel to the fire? Would you have let your family guilt you out of your inheritance? Or is there a point where you draw a line, pick up the phone, and say, no more? Let's hear it. Drop your thoughts, your own stories, and what you think about justice and what's truly fair down in the comments. I want to see the debate. If you've ever dealt with an HOA gone rogue, a ride or die Karen, or a family member who just won't quit, share your battle stories. Maybe we'll all learn something, or at least get a good laugh. Thanks for sticking with me through the madness. See you in the comments.